Welcome to Washington in Focus. I'm Brett Davis. Joining me today is the Center Square's Eastern Washington reporter, Tim Schuman. You recently authored a piece headlined, Washington Gas Surpasses California. Prices up $1.05 per gallon this year. Can you give us some details on what's going on with Washington state gas prices and how do they compare to California?
The Center Square has been tracking this since last October. And since then, prices dipped around the new year and have precipitously rose since then. California and Washington are two of the most progressive states when it comes to carbon tax legislation. And there is a non-zero component of that tax in this price.
So exactly what is the Washington gas prices up to right now this week?
I believe this week it is $4.94 per gallon, statewide average. And in metro areas like Seattle or rural areas like San Juan Islands, it's actually more expensive, above $5 a gallon.
And you mentioned a factor in the increasing prices is the state's new carbon tax that went into effect this year. For those who don't know, the Department of Energy is holding quarterly auctions where emitters can purchase emission allowances equal to their greenhouse gas emissions. They've held two auctions this year. The first one brought in just under $300 million, and the second one brought in about $480 million. So it seems like that's probably having an impact on gas prices. Is that what you're finding, or is that what people are saying? Some people anyway?
That's what experts are saying. The initial line from the governor and the Department of Energy and all of the people involved in the auction was that this will only moderately affect gas prices and it won't cause any rise or any change. But unfortunately, it seems to have not been the case, as the rest of the nation has been stagnating or even falling a little bit in gas pricing, whereas Washington has just been climbing since the new year.
Right. I know we've done a couple of stories on what the state has had to say about it. We did a story earlier this year about, I guess the Department of Ecology wiped some of the information off of their website about the increasing gas prices. And I remember last year, Jay Inslee predicted the carbon tax would have a negligible impact on gas prices. I believe he said something to the effect, we're talking about pennies here. But it seems like it's more than that. It seems like companies are passing along the cost to consumers.
The companies still have to make a profit. If they're being taxed an additional, I believe most reports put it somewhere between 45 and 55 cents per gallon sale of gasoline. They're not just going to eat that out of their profit. They're going to pass that along to us, the consumer.
You mentioned the average gas price in Washington. Are there places in Washington where gas prices are worse and where it's better?
Yeah. So in general, the further west you go in the state, the more expensive gas gets. And east of the Cascade Mountain Range, it gets a little bit cheaper. You're into a more agricultural region. There's better pipeline networks over there.
I don't know if you've spoken to any experts. Do they think the price is going to keep going up, to flatten out, or maybe go down eventually? Any word on what the future holds? Because it seems like gas prices here in Washington have been going up for quite some time, as you mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah, I hesitate to speculate about it, but nowhere have I seen anyone saying that the price is going to go down.
So it looks like Washington State and California are jockeying for the gold medal and the most expensive gas in the nation.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is this is just the beginning of this trend for Washington. We've only had two carbon auctions to date, and the second one garnered about 40% higher prices than the first. So
yeah, I think it went from $300 million in the first one to about $480 million in the second one.
Yeah, so we'll see how much higher this can go. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I would imagine it's just a guess on my part. Prices will go up because what tends to happen in the summer, more people are driving, so there's more demand.
Yeah, and there are other factors in general in the summer. Summer blend is less cost intensive to produce, but is actually pennies on the dollar as compared to this, new carbon tax, which is significantly more.
Well, we'll look forward to you keeping tabs on Washington state gas prices, which you've been doing for quite some time now. So listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Tim Schuman, this is Brett Davis. Please subscribe and thanks for listening.